Hello Google 102 participants, this is Hans Tolman, your instructor, and today we're going to be looking at Google Docs basics. Hopefully you've had a great start at our synchronous event, and now we're going to jump into some more. So last time at our synchronous event we covered all these objectives over here in the gray on the left side, and then on the right side this is what we're going to look at today. We're going to use revision history, we're going to add some comments, we're going to explore research tools, we are going to insert citations and tables, we're going to format those tables and borders and use add-ons. And as we go through this, feel free to pause the video, rewind, come back to it, review, whatever is needed. The way we're going to do this is I'm going to start with some instructions with an image, and I will do that first part, and then we will do it again, and then I'm going to give you a chance to do it on your own. So I do the steps, we do the actual task, and then you do it on your own. So you might be doing it 1 or 2 times depending on what you need. So let's start by using revision history. This is helpful to go back in time to see who and when made what changes in the documents. It's almost like getting in a time machine and going back, and you can restore to this version. So first I'm going to give you the steps. Notice that there's an animated GIF on this slide so you can kind of get a sense of where I'm going. And then we will do we do and you do. So step number 1, you're going to click File in your Google Doc in the top left corner. Then you're going to go down and select Version History. Go over and select See Version History. And then over on the right side you can pick and choose which dates and times you want to look at. And if there's more than one collaborator, you'll be able to identify colored selections or sections that they have edited. And if you go back to a previous version that you want to restore to, like maybe some people messed it up and you want to go back to a previous version, you can click the Restore button. So let's try this. Let's try this right now. I'm going to use this document or not. This is the one I want. So I'm in my Google document, and I'll go ahead and give you a few seconds to pull up a collaborative document that you've worked on. And feel free to pause this video anytime you need to. Then you're going to go up to the top left and look for the File menu and click there on File. And then you're going to look down towards the middle of this list and look for Version History. Whenever you choose a menu item, you need to go horizontally over to the right, because if you go off of that, the options of the submenu will go away. And then you're going to select See Version History. Now right away over on the right hand side I can see all sorts of edits by different people and different dates. I can click this pull down menu to see who made what change at what time. And I can go back to previous edits. And if there's a place that I want to restore, I can click this blue Restore button in the top left. Okay, so you've had a chance to explore version history. Now I'm going to have you do that on your own. You may pause the video to do this task. Alright, now we're going to move on to adding comments. This is really helpful for collaboration because it will notify the collaborators or the collaborators that you've made a change or you have an idea, but it doesn't change the actual document. So here's what you're going to do. Step 1, you are going to highlight the text, or if there's an image or an object, you can click on that to select it. Then you can insert the comment by 3 different ways. You can go to the Insert menu, go down to Comment. That's the slowest way. Or you can mouse over or cursor over and click on that blue plus sign comment button. Now for my intermediates and advanced, you guys are going to press down Control Option M. 3 keys, Control Option M to insert that comment. Once you memorize that, it's going to be so fast. Then you're going to type your comment. And as you're typing your comment, you can add an @ sign, or you can add a plus sign and type in someone's email. And that person will be notified and tagged in that document, and they'll get an email letting them know that someone mentioned them in a comment. Now, if you want to assign a task for them to do, you can check mark the assign to delegate a task. So now that we've talked about it, let's jump over and try this out. So I'm in my document, and let's say I want to make a comment right here. I am going to highlight that, and then I'm going to go over to the comment button on the right side. There's a blue one. Below that is a suggest edits. I don't want to do that right now. I want to add a comment. Then I'm going to type my message. This is such a great resource. Could you please add an image below it? And then I'm going to click comment. All right. So that's how you add a comment. In that comment, there's 3 dots. I can also click the edit button, delete, or link to this comment. I'm going to edit, and I can reply and add another person. So I'm going to press the @ sign and type in my email or someone else's email, and then I can reply so they're mentioned in that comment. If you want to assign it to the person, you have to do that in the first comment. So now that you've seen how to add comments, now you go ahead and add a comment in your collaborative document. You may pause this video now. All right, we are back, and we are going to use the Explore tool in Google Docs. This is helpful because instead of opening a different tab to do your Google search or search for images, you can do it right here in Google Docs. Let me show you how. Step number 1, you are going to click the Explore icon. It looks like this. It has like a little gray speech bubble with a star in it, and it's at the bottom right of your Google Doc. Then a right panel will come up on the side of your Google Doc, and there will be a little place for you to search, and you're going to type in a topic. Then you can either search the web or images, or you can even search your Google Drive for what you're looking for. So let's do that together. Go ahead and open a Google Doc, and let's try this out. Hey Google, stop. Google started talking to me. Okay, so you're in your Google document, and we are going to look for the Explore button in the bottom right-hand corner of the Google Doc. And as I put my cursor over that, it says Explore. I'm going to click on that button, and there I see that right panel, and it says Search Your Docs in the Web, so I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to type in what I'm looking for. I'm going to try looking for Google Docs and press Enter. And now I see a bunch of web results of websites that have the word Google Docs in it. But at the top, I can also click on Images and see images of Google Docs, or I can even look in my Drive. But for this purpose, I'm going to insert a picture, an image of a Google Doc, and there you go. I've just inserted that image. Beautiful. All right. Now you go ahead and take some time to try exploring with the Explore tool. You may pause the video now. All right, we're going to move on. Let's try inserting citations. So if you or your students are referring to a source that's not you or your students, you want to cite your source to just show that it's not you saying it, it's this other person or this other article. And Google Docs makes it really easy to insert citations. Let me show you. So we're going to do step 1. We're going to do what we did last time. We are going to click on that Explore icon in the bottom right corner. Then we're going to type a topic again. But instead of switching to images or Drive, we're going to stay on the web. And you can look down at these different websites, and next to the websites there are these little 3 dots, and you can change the citation format. You can either choose MLA or APA or Chicago, Back at Cal State, we used APA. Some people are MLA. No judgment here. But select your citation format, and then you're going to click the little quotations icon. And what that's going to do, wherever your cursor is, that's going to insert a little footnote, a little superscript, tiny number 1. But it shows up there next to your cursor, but it also is added a citation at the bottom of your page in MLA or APA format, and there you have a citation. Now, back in the olden days, we had to go to college and take classes on how to do this, but now second graders can add citations to their Google Docs. Let's try it together. So here I am in this Google Doc. I'm going to remove this image, and let's say I want to add a footnote to this sentence. I'm going to place my cursor here. Then I'm going to look down at the bottom right hand and look for that Explore button. I'm going to click on it. Then I'm going to type in the search bar. I'm going to type Google for Education Teacher Center and press Enter or Return. And there at the top of my list, I see the website that I want to cite. So I'm going to click on the 3 dots, and I'm going to choose my citation format. I'm going to go with APA because, you know, whatever. Next, I'm going to click on the little quotation mark, and as I put my cursor on it, it says Cite as Footnote. So wherever my cursor is on the Google Doc, it's going to insert a little number that will be my footnote, that will be referring to the bottom of my page. So I'm going to click that. Boom, I clicked it. There I see the little number in my Google Doc. If I scroll down to the bottom of that page, I see the APA citation format at the bottom for this website. All right, now that you've learned how to insert citations, I would like you to practice 2 or 3 citations in your Google Doc. Go ahead and pause the video now. All right, we are back, and we're going to practice inserting a table. So this is what you're going to do. Step number 1 in your Google Doc, you're going to look for that Insert menu. You're going to go down to Table. You're going to go horizontally across that highlighted section of Table, and then you're going to see all of these little squares. And you're going to mouse over the number of rows and columns that you want in your table. Like if you look at this image on my screen, there's 4 rows times, or excuse me, 4 columns times 3 rows. So that's how you insert a table. Let's do it together. Go ahead and open up your Google Doc and put your cursor in a place where you want to insert your table. I'll give you a few seconds to get there. All right. Next, you're going to go up to your menu on the top left and look for Insert. Click on it. Then you're going to go down to Table. Now you have to move that little white hand all over to the right. Move it horizontally. Don't go out, because if you do, you'll go to a different menu. So stay on Table, go over horizontally, and then keep moving and decide how many columns and how many rows you want. I'm going to go with 4 columns and 3 rows. And I'm going to click on the bottom right-hand corner of those squares. And there, I just inserted a table. All right, now that you've learned how to insert a table, I'm going to have you do this on your own. You may pause the video now. All right, we are back, and now that you've inserted a table, it's pretty bare, pretty boring, but we can format our tables and their borders. So this is what I'm going to have you do. Step number 1, you're going to right-click on the table. If you are on a laptop that has a trackpad, you can take 2 fingers and just click right in the middle of that trackpad. And that's going to pull up your right-click menu. Or if you have a mouse, you can just use that right-click button. So right-click on the table. You can either highlight it or click anywhere on the table. And in the menu that pulls up, you're going to go down and look for Table Properties and click on that. Then you're going to make some adjustments. You can adjust the table border. You can adjust like the color of the border or how thick that border is. You can adjust the cell background, how far up your text is in that vertical cell alignment. Do you want it at the top or the middle or the bottom? You can also have specific column width and minimum row height. And then you can also decide how your text is aligned within that cell. Is it aligned to the left, to the right, to center? And whenever you're done, you click OK. Now, when you're ready to format the borders of your table, this is what you're going to do. You're going to select however many rows and columns of your table that you want to format. Then you're going to look for the top right corner of your table and look for a little pull-down menu. Then you're going to select the borders you want to format. Maybe you want to click this. I'm looking at these 9 little border options here on my screen. And maybe you want to choose all of the border. That's that 4 square, the 4 quadrant one. Or maybe you don't want the outside borders, you want to select those inside lines. Or maybe you just want the outside lines. So you get to choose. Once those borders are selected, you can adjust that border color, what color you want the lines to be in your table. You can adjust how thick those lines are, and if they're solid, or if they're dashed, or if they're dotted. So that's how you do it. I did it. Now let's do it together. So go ahead and find your document. I'll give you a few seconds to get there. All right, make sure you've located your table, and I would like you to highlight either all of your cells, those columns and rows, or just a few of them, whatever you want. I'm going to select all of mine. Now that they're selected, I see I'm thinking of the borders. So you don't have to select to get to the table properties. Instead, you're going to right-click on your table. If you're using a trackpad, take 2 fingers and tap them press down right in the middle of that trackpad. In that menu, look towards the bottom, and you're looking for Table Properties. So you right-click on your table and select Table Properties. Now, I would like you to, when it's your turn, you're going to spend some time, and I would like you to adjust the border color, the table border. I'm going to make mine red. Choose how thick you want it to be. I'm going to make mine super thick. Then change the cell background. Let's do a light red. And then decide where you want your text. You want it at the top, the middle, or the bottom of each individual cell. I'm going to say the middle. You can choose a column width or minimum row height. I'm going to select table alignment. I want my words in the center. After you're done with your table properties, click OK and watch what happens. 3, 2, 1, OK. Whoa! Oh, look at that. It changed all the borders, but it only changed one cell. If I wanted all the cells to be changed, I would have had to highlight everything, right-click on it, Table Properties, so I was wrong about that. Change the cell background color, and then choose my color that I want for all the cells. Now they are all that light red. Interesting. But let's say you want to adjust the borders. Here's what you do. If you want to change the height or width of the rows, you can grab those horizontal lines and move them up or down and change those heights. You can also change the width of the columns by moving those vertical lines to the right or to the left. So however you want to set it up. Now, when you're ready to change the format of all of the borders, here's what you're going to do. You're going to select whatever borders you want to change. I've decided that I want to change all of them, so I'm going to select all of them. Now remember, you're going to look for this little tiny square in the top right corner of your table, and as I put my cursor over it, it says click to select borders, so I'm going to click on that. But then I have these 9 little border options where I can select all the borders on that top left option, or just the inside borders, not outside borders, or maybe just the outer border and not the inner border. So whatever you decide, I'm going to go with all the borders. Now look at how the borders are all have this kind of bluish highlight around all of them. That shows that all of them are selected, and maybe I want to change the color up here in the top right. Maybe I want to go to a darker red. And then I can also change the thickness. Maybe I want it even thicker than 4.5 pixels or points. So I'm going to go to 6 points. And maybe you want to change what type of, if it's a solid or dotted or dashed. I'm going to see what dash looks like. Whoa, that's something. I'm gonna press Control Z to undo that. Okay, so that's how you format tables and borders. Now I want to give you a chance to go ahead and play around with your table and try out some different table properties and adjust those borders. You may pause the video now. All right. Oh, and by the way, here's another animated GIF of what editing those tables look like. I forgot to show that to you guys. And hopefully these slides will be around the video in this particular assignment. Okay, next up we are going to use some add-ons. And add-ons are a really cool tool that's designed specifically for the app that you're using. So since we're using Google Docs, there's like a whole little store of little tools that you can add on to Google Docs. And typically these are free and easy to use, like Pear Deck or other things. So this is how you get add-ons. First, you're going to open your Google Doc, and you're going to look at the top menus and look for add-ons. Then you're going to go down and select Get Add-ons. Then you're going to see this little window pop up in front of your Google Doc. And I want you to look at the top left of that window because there's these 3 horizontal lines, or I like to call them 3 pancakes because they look like a stack of pancakes. And I want you to click on that. Click on that top left stack of pancakes. And then I want you to select Most Popular. But also notice that there's a bunch of other categories that we'll talk about in a minute. Then take some time to scroll through the most popular Google Doc add-ons. Open up an add-on by clicking on it, and then you're going to click Docs Add-on. Once it's added, you may open it up in the add-ons menu. So, now that I've explained it to you, let's try it together. Take some time to open your Google Doc now. Alright, once you're in Google Doc, this is how you get add-ons. First, you go to the menu that says Add-ons. It's right next to Tool Format, or Insert Format Tools, Add-ons. Go ahead and click that. Then, you're going to go down to the bottom of this menu and click Get Add-ons. Now you should see a window pop up in front of your Google Doc, and at the top it says Google Workspace Marketplace. Now, how are you going to get to the most popular add-ons? Well, remember what you're going to click on in the top left? 3 horizontal lines, the 3 pancakes. Go ahead and click on that. And notice how they have different categories like top charts, categories including productivity, education. I bet there's some cool things in there. Recommended for Google, works with Drive, Gmail, Calendar, Docs, Sheets, Slides. Oh my goodness, works with Forms. And then pbvU even has our own set of apps. I'll have to explore that later, but I want to go almost to the very top where it says Most Popular. So click on those 3 pancakes and select Most Popular now. Alright, so now we have the most popular add-ons, and take for example this add-on Lucid Chart. Look below it, you see the title, it says Lucid Chart Diagrams, and look at how many stars it has. It has 3.9 stars, and it looks like 12,641 people have rated it, so it's pretty good. but look at how many users it has. It has over 10 million users using this product. So that means it's a pretty solid product. If it has a high rating and a high number of users, it's probably Google approved and safe to use. Now, if I wanted to, I can choose an app that I want to add to add this to now, but I'm going to have you guys scroll through and look through some of these. And then after you're done scrolling, go ahead and select one by clicking on it. Then you'll see a little bit more of a description. You'll see the title, you'll see buttons for Sheets, Slides, Drive, and Docs add-on. To add it to your Google Docs, you're going to want to click on the Docs add-on. Oh, but wait a second, I see a gray bar that says unavailable for install, and it also says in red writing, app is not allowed for install by admin. Interesting. Well, still, we can look through it and see if this is something that would be helpful for teaching and learning. Now, let's say you find an add-on and you want to use it, but it's blocked and it's useful for teaching and learning. Well, here's what you do. If your app is not allowed for install by admin, the IT department is requesting that teachers speak to their academic coaches and principals first to be sure that most of the site would benefit from an app before a request is emailed to them. So why is the IT department blocking these apps from being used by our teachers and students? Well, if you recall, way back in 2020, at the beginning, in January, we had a massive cyber attack, a ransomware attack. And our system was infiltrated, it was locked down, shut down, and we were just out of commission for weeks. So because of that, the IT department has put in specific safety and security protocols so that doesn't happen again. So the reason why we're so cautious is because to avoid security breaches. So if you find an app that's not allowed, it's not a no, it's a you need to talk to your academic coach and principal to see if this would be helpful for your whole site. Then have your academic coach or principal shoot an email over to support@pbvusd.k12.ca.us and request the app they want to request, the web address for that app, and also the reason why we want to use that app, why it's helpful for teaching and learning. So if the academic coaches and principals can do that after you've kind of let them know, most of the time, if it's safe and secure, it will be unlocked. So that is how you add Google Doc add-ons. Now go ahead and take a moment to explore the Google Workspace Marketplace and see if there's any add-ons that you think would be helpful. If you find one that's blocked, remember to shoot an email to your academic coach and principal requesting it to be allowed. And make sure you include the name, the link, and the reason to your people. Well, people, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of our time together today. I hope you were able to learn something. I look forward to seeing you at our showcase event in week 6, and please reach out to us if you have any questions. Don't forget the question and answer discussion board that was mentioned in week 1, and we'll also have it throughout the weeks. But have a great day, and we'll see you next time.